Hello everybody, and welcome back into the Loud House. It's another week, and a big week if you're a Washington fan, DMV fan. The Washington Nationals are in the playoffs. They failed and fell hard in game one of the NLDS, but they'll be right back at it in game two. The Washington Wizards open up training camp this week, and they have their very first preseason game on Monday night versus the Chicago Bulls in Chicago. You got to be excited about that. But most importantly, and that's why I'm here right now doing this video, the Washington Redskins. They have a Monday night matchup against the Seattle Seahawks right here in Washington. The big thing for this game, the Washington Redskins cannot do what they did on Thursday night against the New York Giants. They can't lose two big nationally televised games, can they? They can't do it. The Washington Redskins are going to have to step up big and win big game. And here's the keys to the game and how I think the Washington Redskins can accomplish that goal. My number one key to the game is going to be quite simple. We saw Kirk Cousins do it a lot on Thursday night. No turnovers. That's right. Kirk Cousins has had 18 turnovers in 11 games played. Can't do that in the National Football League and expect to win. Kirk Cousins is going to have to play a turnover-free football game. What that also means is the guys up front who are protecting Kirk Cousins are going to have to do their job. It's kind of a broken record. We're always talking about how this offensive line needs to do his job and protect Kirk Cousins, protect RG3, not let these guys get rattled, and give them time to drop, step, step, and throw each and every time. And we saw Kirk Cousins looking at wide receivers, looking them down. We talked about it last week about Prince and Makamura and some of those other guys talking about how they always knew where Kurt was going to throw. That might be a formula that each and every team that plays the Washington Redskins are going to be looking for in the secondary. In my opinion, the Seahawks don't have the secondary that the Giants have, but they do have some threats back there. The Washington Redskins are going to have to play great football with Kirk Cousins. My second key to the game, I'm just going to call it strictly one word, havoc. The Washington Redskins are going to have to cause havoc on the defensive line. They got to get pass rush. The Seattle Seahawks has got two tackles. They got the right tackle, Justin Britt, who's a rookie, who's playing okay, but still a problem for the Seahawks on their offensive line. The Washington Redskins are going to have to exploit this rookie and make sure they're getting pressure on Russell Wilson. Also, Russell Okung, the left tackle for the Seattle Seahawks, who in the past has played exceptional football, not playing quite as well this year. So the Washington Redskins are going to have to make sure they take advantage, get pressure up front, and not allow Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch and those guys to get the ball downfield and get things going. My third key to the game is quite simply, I just talked about it. Stop Marshawn Lynch. But most importantly, while stopping Lynch, don't forget about Russell Wilson. I talked about this on the Loud House show that we just finished doing. Marshawn Lynch is one of those guys that he's made 2 or 3 key big plays over the last 3 weeks for this Seattle Seahawks team that has led them to victory. But the biggest victory against the Denver Broncos was by Russell Wilson and what he was able to do in overtime. Like I talked about on the Loud House show, Russell Wilson single-handedly took this team down the field in overtime with 2 or 3 big key runs in overtime that allowed his team to go on to victory and kept Peyton Manning on the sideline and didn't even give him an opportunity to come in and win this ball game. So like I said, stop Marshawn Lynch, but you got to respect Russell Wilson. Keep him in the pocket. Don't let him get inside and outside. Keep him rattled and make him throw the ball downfield. Hopefully, we can capitalize on some turnovers from that team. My last key to the game is simple. Quite frankly, win all 3 phases of the game. With the exception of the Jacksonville Jaguars game, the Washington Redskins have not been successful in one phase or another. They have not played a complete game yet since that Jacksonville game. And of course, that's your only victory of the season. So that's simple. Win on defense, win on offense, win on special teams is a key for this team to be successful this week. That brings me to my final score and final prediction of the game. I know we talked about doom and gloom, but I really don't believe this Washington Redskins have it in them to throw up another goose egg and come out on national TV at home 2 weeks in a row and get throttled. I think the Washington Redskins will try to figure out a way to win this game. I think this is possibly one of those setup games that you always talk about, but one of those setup games in favor of the Redskins. I think the Redskins win this game 27, Seattle Seahawks 21. That's it. Redskins 27, Seattle Seahawks 21 is my prediction for the game. Guys, make sure you listen to the Loud House this week. We got a great show. We got J. Michael joining us on the show from CS in Washington. He's the Washington Wizards insider. Make sure you listen to the show. J. Michaels is going to join us to talk to us about the Washington Wizards and everything going on with training camp. Make sure you follow J. Michael at J. Michael CS in Washington. Also on the show, we're going to be talking Washington Nationals playoffs, how they lost game one, what it's going to take for them to win game two. We're talking about, of course, what we just talked about, the Washington Redskins, and what it's going to take for them to beat the Seattle Seahawks. And, of course, my favorite show, the new segment of the show that we introduced last week called The Loudmouth. I got some great stuff for you, great stories about the Washington Wizards, great stories, and, of course, a couple funny stories about the Seattle Seahawks. So make sure you guys check out that. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at In The Loud House, and please like the Facebook page, The Loud House. Very easy to find, very easy to follow. And of course, as always, I'm Chris Dowdell, and thank you guys so much for all your support. You are in The Loud House.